Welcome back, I'm Sean. Today we're checking out a device that gets me really excited, and I want to share with you everything I know about this DAP player, so let's check it out. So the R3 II today was sent over to me by Hiby for review, but this is not a sponsored post and my review will be based on my honest and unbiased opinion. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and ring the notification bell so you won't miss any future tech reviews. So the R3 II here is a very beautiful DAP player and comes in at a pretty decent price of 850 Malaysia ringgit or about 179 US dollars. And if you look out there in the market, the price is considered a very good deal when it comes to high-res entry-level DAP players. So if you're interested in getting one to enhance your listening experience, do check out my links below. So starting with the design here, you're going to get a very modern looking device and it has just the right buttons, the controls to make this a very practical unit to own. The design that you get here is also very modern, looks like a mobile phone as well. So the device here is mainly made of a metal frame, so all around here you're going to get a metal frame slapped with two pieces of glass, one at the front and one at the back. So the device comes with a screen protector from the factory itself and also a silicone case to protect the device when you bring it around. On the front here, you're going to get a small Hiby logo at the bottom right here. Also a large 3.2-inch touchscreen LCD with a resolution of 480 by 360. And to be honest, it's not a very high resolution screen by any measure in today's world. Comparing it with the Sony NWA105, which is an Android device that comes with a 720 HD display, but the silly thing about that is that the battery drains so quickly on the Sony. With the Hiby, it's smart to keep it bare bones since you're not staring at the screen all day long. I rather have a battery performance rather than a high resolution screen for a device I mainly use to listen to music. So at the side here, you're going to get a large volume knob here, which is also the power on knob. Below there is several controls buttons, including track skipping and play or pause, all very intuitively laid out. And there is also a status LED that tells you the status of your device as well as the sampling rate of your media. So at the back of the device is also made of glass and has the Hiby branding there with the two high-res logo. My only problem with this beautiful device is how much fingerprint magnet when I use it, and that takes away the beauty of it, so always use the case with it. So in terms of the ports here, what you're going to get here is mainly a USB Type-C port which can be used to charge the device up and also to use it as a storage device to move your music into it directly. So you don't need to worry about moving your SD card here and there, just plug it into your PC and it will show up as a USB drive and you can directly move your music into it, and if you have folders, just dump the whole folder into the device and Hiby will organize the rest for you. So at the bottom here, you're going to get two output jacks, one single-ended 3.5mm auxiliary jack for all your standard headphone jack action, as well as a 4.4mm balanced headphone jack if you have some of those cables lying around. And on the left side itself, there's a flap that hides your micro SD card slot and it supports any standard micro SD card with a capacity up to 2 TB, which is insanely huge but definitely great for a device like that. So the R3 II comes with a pretty large battery in a small form factor, coming in at 2000 mAh, and that will give you about 16 hours of battery life when listening to music. Your mileage may vary depending on the codec you play, the volume that you run on, the source file you play in, so many things that will affect the battery life, but the 16 hours gives a good baseline for you to know. Also, the Type-C port here is good for you to plug it into any external DAC amp and even some that doesn't have battery powered like the Fosse Audio DS2, but with something more demanding like the Fosse Audio SK02, the device doesn't produce enough power to power that DAC amp, so for those you really need an external power supply for it to work. Feature-wise, you're getting very good modern specs on this device, starting with a Bluetooth 5.1 chipset that supports most high-res audio codecs, in this case the LDAC codec, Qualcomm's aptX codec, the AAC and SBC codec. So this is miles better compared to some DAC players that only comes with Bluetooth 4 technology. So chipset-wise, you're getting a familiar chipset here. The dual ESS 9219C that can be found on the Hydy's AP80 Pro X device as well. And you're going to be able to support all the standard high-res file formats as a DAP player should, so FLAC files, AIFF files, WAV files, DSF files, and many more. Also, this player is both high-res audio and high-res audio wireless certified, so you know it's a legit device. And when it comes to playing all your amazing high-res audio, thanks to the LDAC and aptX codec here. So the player supports a frequency band of 20 Hz to 90 kHz and has a pretty decent power output coming in at 112 milliwatts with the 3.5mm jack and 380 milliwatts for the 4.4mm jack. So both of these are rated at 32 ohms, so just to give you some context, the highest impedance headphones I have is a 250 ohms headphone, and the player pushes enough power to drive it pretty loud, but you start to get decent volume only past 50%. So you get a total harmonics distortion of about 0.0005%, which is really low distortion for a small portable device. And finally, this player only weighs 118 grams. So I'm using some of my favorite device here to test out this device, my trusty Philips Fidelio X2HR and the One Audio Monitor 80, alongside with several DAC amps that I have currently lying around, including the Creative Soundbuster G3, Fossey Audio SK01, as well as Fossey Audio DS2. While using all of these DAC amps does modify the sound signature quite a bit, and frankly, out of the box, the sound signature is already quite good, and it brings out a tad bit of warmness to the sound. But generally, I find most DAP players would sway towards that more cooler metallic sound signature to breathe life into the higher res tuning. But the warmness on the R3 II actually works really well. So from a day-to-day use, the standard sound quality is already really good, but Hiby does give you a built-in EQ to play around with. However, it's only a 4-band EQ and doesn't do justice to the things you can adjust for a song, so I generally turn EQ off and use an external equalizer instead. So bass on this device isn't deep, and you still get a very solid thumb, but it's nowhere deep and doesn't thump hard. So this is of course if you play it with high-res files and not a highly compressed MP3 file. And with a properly extracted file, you definitely still hear and feel the bass a tad bit, and an external equalizer definitely helps. So mids and highs are no doubt very nice sounding, but I still think your favorite DAC can then significantly drive nicer sound signature to your ears. And this is of course also dependent on the headphones or IEMs that you use. Overall, I like the sound quality that it produces out of the box, but whether I can live without plugging it to my SK01, then I can assure you that I will. So what do you think about this DAP player? Is it something you will want to have to bring your high-res music around? I'm curious to hear what is your setup generally to bring music around with you, and if you travel with a DAC amp, let me know in the comments below. So that is it for this review. If you find this video helpful, smash the thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. If you haven't yet subscribed, do consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.